fun. I'd say Peter is more the distracting type. Like he just wants to like shoot you with Nerf guns all day and like, but it was fun.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and another one in the series of how to become a YouTuber. I've got a super special guest for you tonight as I'm in the office all alone, social distancing, using the studio. But my guest this evening is none other than Matt Paquette. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I've probably got it wrong, but I'll find out later. Matt is a video creator, video editor, YouTuber, previous Viner, and you may know him as being the editor for Matthew Paquette and his channel. I can't wait to pick his brains about his past life on Vine, how he became a video creator and a video editor, and what it's like editing for a YouTube channel, a YouTuber like Matthew Paquette. And finally, one thing that I am dying to find out, what was it like sharing an office with Peter McKinnon? Those that follow this channel for a long time will know I'm a massive fan of both Matty and Peter, and after seeing Matt's work on Matty's channel, I'm so excited to talk to him. So let's get into the video. So yeah, Matt, thank you for joining me on the channel for this video.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
For those that don't know, do you want to just give a little brief about who you are?
Totally. So my name is Matthew Paquette. I used to make Vines back in the day, but now I am an editor for Matty Paquette.
For starters, how did you actually get into the content creation world, the video production and Vine world, I guess we need to talk about?
Totally. So when I was younger, I always loved making videos. Every time my mom got a new camera, it was like I needed to know all the specs and to play with it. So that was kind of my thing. Like I loved taking photos, making videos. Me and my friends would make silly videos, like in our spare time in the summer when we weren't in school. And that's kind of how like my interest with video started. And then later on, when I was in my last couple of years of high school, that's when Vine came out, and me and a friend, we just started making Vines. We didn't really have any intention of making like a career out of it, but the two of us, it just kind of took off, and we were making videos and people liked them, and that's kind of how it started. And then a couple years later, Vine went down. I actually went into the like freelance video production business. I dropped out of college. I was in computer programming because I actually do really love programming. Okay. And so I left that because I knew that I was already making money doing video production. So I was just going to focus there. And then if I wanted to come back to programming, I would. And then that's when Maddie put out his Hire Me ad. So then I applied for that, and that kind of takes us to where we are today.
That's amazing. I mean, I'll put a link to, there's a specific video where you talk about your Vine career, and I found it fascinating because I never sort of went on Vine. You know, it's not a platform that I've ever interacted with, and I can only imagine, like, just from seeing that video, it kind of would be close to what TikTok is at the moment. You know, short, sort of punchy videos that people are absolutely loving. So you were one of the first sort of Viners. Again, I'd never heard of that term until I'd watched your video. But you managed to, it sounds like you did pretty well out of it from a monetary standpoint, because you managed to get this red camera that you shoot your YouTube videos on, and it sounds like you did pretty well.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. There was, because I wasn't like the biggest on Vine, but I had a brand-friendly page. So I was very attractive to brands, which really helped out in the long run. I was able to do a lot of brand deals. Yeah, I mean, I bought a red camera, I bought my car, like, it was like, I mean, I couldn't even believe it.
It's amazing. It was nice. To own a red camera, like, that's the dream. So to do that, it's amazing. And you spoke on that one particular video, that like 1 6-second post, you got paid like $7,500 for.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that was the biggest like brand deal I did like per video, but there was other brand deals where I had 4 videos that I had to post in a month that would be like 25,000. So there were other brand deals, but that was like the biggest like single post.
That's amazing. I mean, those that are in sort of the content creation world, like if you just outside looking and you went, oh, $7,500 for a 6-second video, you'd be like, oh, that's unbelievable. But the effort that you will have put into it with, you know, special effects and things, it's so time consuming. I mean, just general content creation is really time consuming. So that's like another level. That's not a skill that I have. So I kind of, I get it. And again, you know, marketing's marketing. These businesses are leveraging your platform to make even more money, which
Yeah.
most, I think, sort of up and coming creators need to understand that, I guess, you know, the value of your platform to be able to upsell products.
Totally. Yeah, I think a big thing with that is I think to run a successful campaign, it takes good content and the company needs to back it and like put it through ads. Unless you're someone like David Dobrik or the top who really has influence. Because a
Yeah.
lot of influencers don't have that much influence, but they can be good creators. And I feel like that's kind of where I fell. I feel like if I told people to download an app, nothing would happen. But if
Right.
I made a VFX video, people would be interested.
Ah, that's interesting. That's a really interesting take on it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I would never have thought about it like that. That's
Yeah. So for example, I did one with Hot Pockets. It was a cool VFX video, and then they promoted it through Twitter, and it actually did really well because they were putting money behind it.
that's interesting. Ah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I wanted
Yeah.
from like this video series, to be able to like get these little nuggets of gold, I guess, these nuggets of detail.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
so on the video again, you spoke about the comment section on Vine, and this is something
Yeah.
that when I speak to clients, just general clients for video production, and I'm trying to like say to them, you know, personal brand's very important now, just in business in general. So when we're creating content for our clients, I'm saying you need to put yourself out there, and a lot of them are very intimidated to be active on social media, put their face to it. But it's an important part. And if you were to be going onto YouTube now, people are very aware that the comment section is there. So you spoke about the sort of vulgarity and how vile the comment section is on Vine. Can you go into a bit of detail on that?
Yeah, so the Vine comment section wasn't filtered at all. I think later on they might have had some more automated restrictions, but for the most part, a lot of it was pretty toxic. Like it was just like, oh, this is so cringy, like, oh, F you, faggot, like that was the comment section.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't want to like,
You have to go into too
um,
much detail. I mean,
yeah.
how does that compare to sort of the YouTube comment section of today? Then is it
Well, I think there are some YouTubers that get some pretty vile comments, but I think for the most part, though, most have like they build kind of like a closer community around their channel, and people are there to support them. And like especially in my case, I literally haven't had any like bad comments or very little dislikes. Well, one, because I'm a small channel, and two, the only people watching are people who know me from Maddie's channel or from Twitter or whatever, Facebook, Instagram. But yeah, I think the other thing with YouTube is that your face is typically like most people have like their YouTube account as them, or like they have their like Google account connected to their YouTube account, so there's a little bit less anonymity to it
Yeah.
than something like Vine or TikTok or whatever.
No, that makes sense. I mean, have you seen like so the from a comment standpoint from YouTube?
Yeah.
Have you seen any sort of bad stuff coming from the larger accounts? Obviously, you'll have access to Matty's account. I can only imagine he would get some hate in the comments.
Yeah, there's definitely. It's funny. So the thing I've observed with the comments on Maddie's videos is once a video like grows beyond your natural audience. So if Maddie does like a camera tutorial, it might just be his audience that see it. But we did an FPV video, and that went beyond the film community into the FPV community. And there were people on there being like, "Oh, these guys are so stupid. They're doing everything wrong." Like yeah, because we're new. Like is this how you greet people to your like hobby? Like thanks. But no, like I'd say that the formula to entering like that realm of bad comments is going beyond your natural audience.
Yeah, I can imagine them guys got pretty territorial after you
Yeah.
went into their world. That's so
Yeah, it
funny.
was, and that's happened on many other videos, kind of in that fit that category.
We brought up Matty, so let's talk about that. I mean, you.
Yeah.
I watched the videos going back. Obviously, put out that you wanted to get an editor, which is quite, I guess, a big move for any creator for one to sort of let go of that control. You know, when I make my videos, and you know, I've got hardly any subscribers, but I'm very aware of the narrative and the voice that needs to be brought to a video to sort of represent you, especially in the vlogging world. So to be able to relinquish that to someone else is quite a statement. And having seen the three sort of finalists, your sort of style definitely stood out, and it's so complimentary now. Like the channel, I think it's just been amazing, you know, ever since. So first, why did you want to become an editor, you know, a full-time editor or an editor for another YouTuber, and not continue pursuing a freelance career?
Yeah, well, I think the short answer there is the freelance world was too inconsistent. So I live north of Toronto. I live in like a smaller city, and there's not a lot of freelance jobs going around. But if I lived in the city, I'm sure that would be a different story. And that was the main thing where I was like kind of like open to other job opportunities. And actually, I didn't watch a lot of Maddie's videos at the time. I have come across a lot of videos, but I wasn't like watching every video. And a friend of mine sent me the link to the application probably like 2 or 3 hours after it was posted. And I immediately started my application. Like I had a video shot and edited before the night, like before midnight, the same day the first like call to action was up. The funny thing with my video, like the final like round of application, my video got the most dislikes on the whole
Really?
thing. Yeah, so most people, because the thing is that a lot of people don't know how to follow rules. And I only say this because any sort of like public thing Maddie does, majority of the people don't follow the rules. Like the film competition that's happening right now, there was a lot of submissions and a lot of them didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
But that being said, the last application, a lot of people tried to make it their own show, where the rules were to try and emulate Maddie's style and what he does, and to try and make it look like this was like still part of like his editing. And that was what I did. Like I didn't change anything from what Maddie does. I tried to just stick to what he did. And then where some of the other contestants green screened themselves into the video and like tried to go too far.
Yeah, too much of an input onto the actual video itself.
Yeah.
I get that. And I can actually see, now you've said that, I can see that from the other sort of applications that are still out there on the channel. That does actually make complete sense. Your role in now, you're Matty's full-time editor. So are you editing all the videos, all the podcasts? Is that your like primary role?
Yeah, so my primary role was to edit Maddie's YouTube channel videos. So the podcast was handled by the manager, Tyler. He's around in a lot of videos. But at the moment, like in quarantine, I'm not, it just doesn't make sense for me to edit right now.
Yeah, I guess it's a logistical nightmare to edit whilst in quarantine. Is this why your channel's become so active then at the moment?
Yeah. So thankfully, I've had the time to focus on some of my own like creative journeys, and it's fun. It can be tough to come up with ideas, though. I find that's the biggest challenge right now.
I feel you. I mean, I'm in the studio today, so we've got a video studio here and a podcast studio, and having done my last, I don't know, 4 or 5 videos at home, it's just been horrible. Like the creative juices were not flowing, and I've been like sat in my back bedroom, you know, I've been using like a bedside table as a desk and like a horrible IKEA chair to sit on, and I don't have my 120D, you know, my light, I don't have anything. I've just got like an A7 III, that's it, and I'm just like, this is terrible, like this is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm thankful actually. The anything from the office that we get rid of pretty much ends up at my house. So this desk, this chair, my other chair, the light that I'm using, this microphone, like all came from like spring cleaning at the office. Like,
that's amazing. Well, I imagine that Matty will get quite a lot of stuff sent to him as well. I know he's done like unboxing and then mail times and things. I think that's another side that's really cool to any YouTuber, is that people send him so much stuff, you know.
Yeah, majority of the stuff we actually try and give away at like meetups, which we don't do too often, like maybe once or twice a year. But I mean, we can't give away some of the things that they send. But yeah, Maddie like gets so many cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It's always a new adventure over there.
When we talk about the office, then do you ever find people like I'm a massive Casey Neistat fan. So like when I was
Yeah.
in, I've been to New York City once, and I had to just lay eyes
Hmm.
on The Office. Like I just wanted to. I've seen it on so many videos, and so like I've watched it so many times that I had to just go and see The Office. You know, do you get
Yeah.
any people just like rocking up and just like knocking on the door, pressing the buzzer or whatever, trying to catch a glimpse or have a chat?
It happens. It's not as like crazy as like Casey Neistat's office. I think even people now realize how what's the right words? I guess like inappropriate it is to like go to someone's office and kind of bug them or wait for them. But yeah, we've had some people come up to the door and ask for Maddie and Peter and want to talk to them, and it's uh it's not something you should do. We have a big sign across the door that says "No visitors ever," so I'm sure the delivery people are curious what's going on.
Yeah.
We've thought about different ways that we could try and like prevent it, like putting just a rope, like do not pass at the bottom of the stairs. Um, but we're still figuring that out.
Yeah, because I guess people could kind of sneak in. I don't know how many offices there are in your building,
Hmm.
but I guess people could, get in with the delivery driver or whatever and sneak their way up. That's the last thing
Yeah,
you
it is.
want.
It is possible.
Oh yeah, no way. Well, you mentioned so Peter McKinnon. Like, what you obviously had the opportunity to spend, time working in the same office as Peter. What was it
Yeah.
like being in a I guess an office in a room with someone like Peter and Matty? And I mean, I imagine
Yeah.
that the influence there of just the creativity and just what an opportunity. What was it like?
Yeah, it was fun. So Peter has an editor. Him and I had our desks beside each other in like the little foyer, and then Maddie and Peter had their desks in like the studio. And like thinking now, like I have no idea how we all crammed in there because like it's like it's a pretty big like little studio, but it's not that big.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to have like two teams in there. Um, I mean, it was fun. I would say Peter is more the distracting type. Like he just wants to like shoot you with Nerf guns all day and like but it was fun. Like I don't know what else to say. I'd say Peter's more of like the fun creative type, where Maddie is more of like the focused technical but still creative type.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, they have very different work styles. That's for sure.
Totally. I mean, like for him to be sort of the sequence of events, I guess, of how this
Mhm.
conversation would have come about is I've always been a really big fan of Casey Neistat. I watched all the vlogs, and then from Casey, Peter McKinnon went onto one of his vlogs. So I came onto Peter McKinnon's channel, watching Peter's stuff, then went onto Matty's channel, and then obviously Matty to you, and that's sort of like how it's all come about. And I definitely feel like
Mhm.
the two completely different styles, but they're both very
Mhm.
complementary, and the actual aesthetics of the videos look very similar. I guess they're both shooting similar cameras, and they've both got a similar sort of vibe, but they are two different worlds, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Peter's really good at just looking at a camera and just talking. Where Maddie, he does a lot more work in like not scripting, but planning out his video.
That was something I was going to ask you. I mean,
Yeah.
like being able to edit someone's vlog like that. I
Hmm.
imagine that I'm actively looking for someone to come and like work at the studio with me as an editor, not for the channel but for the business. But
Yeah.
it would be something I'd like to hand off as well. In the
Hmm.
future. But all I could think is if I'm like trying to deliver like let's say the opening scene of a vlog, how many times I might do a few cuts, and then I'd have to try and do the next scene, and there'd be a few cuts of that, and then this poor editor's got to sit there and watch me fumbling through my words. Like, is that the kind of what it's like? You've got to kind of just watch through it all and see how many takes it took to get that one scene. I bet it was a really weird transition.
Oh, totally. So like we do a lot of jump cuts. Like I'm sure you've seen Maddie's videos. We chop up sentences. Like we don't really care, especially for a vlog. Um, so when you're editing, ideally, you should only be giving the editor as little as they need. We don't like, because I don't want to receive footage and have to try and figure out what's going on. I should be able to just watch it and see it chronologically, like exactly what's happening. So when I'm editing, for example, like a Maddie vlog. It's pretty straightforward because he always shoots chronologically, or if he doesn't, he lets me know. Um, and um, and when I'm chopping up, like say a segment, I'll just like quickly edit, fast forward, and chop every time like we there's a repeat, so I can chop out the previous one. And I'm always assuming the next take is the better take, unless Maddie notices that he didn't like that take.
That's cool. I mean,
But there's a workflow to it. You get it down quick. But I'd say the biggest thing, because when you shoot a vlog, there's two different ways to do it. Like back in the day when you looked at vlogs, people shot everything they could and then they tried to make a video out of it. That's gonna kill you. You need to just shoot. That you just need to shoot like what you know is gonna fit for the story of the day, and make it into a video. Now that's gonna be tough to do right off the bat because you're not gonna know what's gonna go into a video. But after a while, you'll get the hang of it, and you'll kind of know like what's worth shooting, what's not worth shooting, and yeah, that's and keeping to the story. A lot of like old school vlogs, there was no story, but if you have a story, you can keep it all concise.
yeah, that's definitely something that's been hammered home across multiple channels. You know, Matty's, Peter's, Casey's, the kind of stories, everything. And I completely agree with that. And that's the same for, you know, even our commercial videos. We've got to maintain somewhat of a storyline no matter what, because that's all that keeps people engaged, isn't it? You know, what sort of advice would you give to sort of up and coming creators and those that are kind of aspiring to get into the industry? Like, what would you?
Totally. My biggest advice to anyone who wants to get into video or literally anything is to just do it. Stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Just do it. You know video trailers on YouTube pages? I was talking to someone this week about this. Have you ever seen a video trailer where someone is just talking about all the things they're going to do on their YouTube page? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those are good. That's great. But just do it. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're doing. Like that's what I think everyone should be doing in any field that they want to get into. Like you can only do so much research, and so much planning. You just got to jump into it. And this is the exact same advice that every single YouTuber says. Like you got to just do it. And this is Maddie's whole model: learn, make, repeat. Like you just got to dive into it, fail, keep going.
I honestly couldn't agree with you more. You know, I'm very critical of my work, and especially of this quarantine period. Like I've just every single upload I've hated it because I just didn't think it was right. But I just know it's a necessary evil. I've just got to just keep making it, keep pushing it out, and just, you know, hope for the best. And that's I completely agree. And any sort of work that you're going into, you've just got to do it. There's a lot of people that are gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Just go do it. Like, and then people ask you how you did it. You know, like that's the sort of the secret, I guess.
Totally. Another thing too is finding like a community that is also interested in the same thing you're going after. So for YouTube, like there's a couple other YouTubers that I like talk to on the daily that are like also trying to make their own videos, and it I don't know. I think that just makes a big difference when you're trying to think of video ideas, or you want people to watch your videos who will, you know, will support you and give you good feedback, and it's good. Having community is extremely important.
And this is a sort of a prime example of, you know, like technology is such a wonderful thing that you can talk to somebody at literally the other side of the world. You know, the YouTube world and the video creating world is quite small, and I was having a very similar conversation this afternoon with one of my other. He's a freelance videographer, and I said a similar thing. You know, it was good. We sort of had a Zoom call for almost 2 hours, and we were talking about different ideas, and that for me was like therapeutic to just get the mind going again. You know, because you can quite easily just sit there and focus in on your thing, but when you can sort of bounce ideas off other creators, it's amazing.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, any final words from yourself? Like, obviously, I assume you're going to be a lot more active on your channel because this lockdown doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So, any final words?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can check me out on YouTube. I'm going to be hopefully posting some videos there the next couple of weeks, and see how that goes.
Great stuff. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. This is really cool.
So I'll put a link to your channel below and at the end of this video, but yeah, amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
What an amazing guy. Absolutely loved that conversation. It just goes to show what can be achieved through the internet. Whilst in lockdown, we can still create this style of content, get on a Zoom call, get to the other side of the world and talk to amazing creative individuals. If you want to see more about Matt's channel, I'll put a link at the end of this video. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. I've got more videos coming soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.